We're now just weeks away from Destiny 2, the final shape. Everything is ramping up. Bungie are firing on all cylinders, it's good change after good change, and it's earning some great community sentiment in the process of it. It's one of those changes that is the topic of today's video, which I strongly recommend doing if you haven't already done so. But before we get to that, may I ask, if you're looking to stay up to date on Destiny 2, guides, builds as we get our hands on that prismatic subclass in the final shape, alongside a guide on how the casual player should prep for the final shape in the next few days, you should scroll down, hit that subscribe button. We're closing in on 1k subs now. I'd really appreciate it. With that said, let's dive in. So, I always put myself in a weird bracket with Destiny. I won't call myself a hardcore player, but I won't really say I'm a casual player either. I do a bit of everything. Get the weapon patterns, focus on the story, and then I always run every raid and dungeon, but I never go and get the patterns or farm those raids, or I don't really get to run them as often as I'd like to. One thing is that, despite now having over 1,000 hours in Destiny, it's been a handicapped one. And when I say that, what I mean is, I've only ever played as a hunter. Purely because I play this game out of pure enjoyment and not to have a second job. Meaning I've never touched a warlock or a titan. In the final shape though, Bungie are rolling out a change which is huge. Bungie are bringing in what they call account-wide power, meaning gear that you earn on any character will drop with a power level relative to the highest powered character on your account. So, let's say my hunter, who is still supreme by the way, so you warlocks, you titans, don't get it twisted, hunter's still supreme, but let's say my 2000 power level on my hunter, when I now switch to my warlock and I play, the drops that I'm earning will be in and around that power level of my hunter, rather than let's say the 1800 that it's currently leveled at. This is massive because, like I say, for as much as I always joke to my friends about warlocks and titans being inferior to hunters, playing Destiny 2 and only ever playing as one class, it's genuinely missing out on the full experience, and I understand that now. Look, I've only been playing as a warlock for 2 weeks, but it feels so different. For example, right, I got Touch of Malice after completing Pantheon. I feel like Touch of Malice is only viable as a weapon for a warlock because I can use a rift with an exotic that extends the duration for each kill that I get in a rift, meaning that Touch of Malice where the final round deals self-inflicted damage, and I'm just there, I'm popping off. It wouldn't be as viable as a hunter. Not to mention the build crafting, look at Strand, you're operating with Threadlings on the warlock, and the survivability as well by using Well of Radiance when you're playing solo. It opens up new and exciting ways of playing that now I kind of feel a little bit bad because I've missed out on all these years just playing Hunter. The best part is that it's also easier than ever to unlock all the subclass fragments and aspects for your build crafting. All you need to do is finish Beyond Light and Lightfall, which, if we're just talking about purely powering through these campaigns, you're talking like 3 hours each at tops. And then you spend a boatload of Glimmer, which is more obtainable than it's ever been. Even easier now because the aspects and fragments for Stasis are now purchasable with Glimmer at the Exo Stranger. All the Strand fragments still require Strand mediations, which is probably the longest part of the grind. Still not horrific though. These are best obtained from Strand related kills and gaining rep with Nimbus, alongside doing Vex Strike Force, Partition, and Headlong, all located on Neomuna. Maybe my favourite part now is being able to run activities multiple times on different characters for a shot at the exotic over and over. I'm still down on the fact that I've got no buried bloodline from the Warlords Ruin dungeon, but now I've got a better shot than ever because I can run that dungeon multiple times a week on different characters. So, let's say you're going to start a new character as a different class. What should you do? Here's what I recommend doing. Create the alt character that you've never played as, so a Titan, a Warlock, a Hunter. When the opportunity arrives to skip the New Light process in the Cosmodrome, skip it, head straight to Shaxx with the Into the Light social space, pick up in that chest alongside him your free 1810 rewards that get you to the Pinnacle cap, and some free exotic armor pieces for that class. Then head to Ikora in the tower, pick up the 3 quests that each reward an exotic armor piece that synergizes with a subclass. So the Exalted Flame quest, for example, on a Warlock rewards Phoenix Protocol, which synergizes really well with Well of Radiance. play through both the Beyond Light and Lightfall campaigns on regular difficulty for quickness. Use any remaining legendary shards that you have to trade with Rahul in the tower for Glimmer, since the legendary shards are going to be going when the final shape arrives, and there's not really too many things to spend your legendary shards on now, so if you need to create alt characters and you need to buy all the fragments and aspects, the Glimmer here is going to be vital for that. Like I say, this will allow you to buy all the grenades, abilities, aspects and fragments for Solar Void and Arc, which can be bought from Ikora in the tower, and Stasis from the Exo Stranger on Europa once you finish Beyond Light, and then finish up by unlocking the Strand aspects by completing activities that reward Strand mediations on Neomuna. The final part really is just gathering and unlocking as many exotic engrams, as each exotic engram will reward a new exotic armor that you haven't got from the pool available until you've got them all basically, or farm the Master Lost sectors for specific gear pieces that you want. Look, all that, it sounds like a lot, but it really isn't. And there's no huge rush on all of this. There's 3 weeks to go until the final shape, and a lot of this could just be completed in a few play sessions. This will not only put you in the best stead to prep for final shape in terms of how you want to play it, but you'll also be able from day one to experience Prismatic in the way you want to experience it with whatever class you want to experience it with. Honestly, I can't stress enough just how worthwhile it is to make other characters. Warlock really is a different fantasy than being a hunter. It does grant that space wizard energy, clicking fire out of your hands, gliding from A to B, or casting lightning like some juiced up Emperor Palpatine. Even if you don't find the time to do all 3 characters, having one more is enough to grant you an entire new experience in Destiny 2. With Final Shape on the horizon and 3 episodes to come after it, it'll be more than worthwhile to do so. And with these changes that Bungie are making, it's more accessible, and it won't be like having a second job to keep leveling up your alternative characters on the side. Especially with how exciting it is with Prismatic that we're going to have this exotics class item that will combine different aspects of different exotic pieces together in one item. The more build opportunities, the more fun there is to be had. Look, that's just my recommendation. This isn't something that will make or break Destiny 2 or the final shape for you. It's just an experience enhancer, which while we're getting towards this kind of lull time, this is the best time to do it. It's something that I've never really considered, but now that Bungie have made it more viable, I'm so happy about that. I want to know though, have you always had 3 characters like a second job, or are you like me where you've only ever played as one character? If so, what other class are you going to make as an alternative now? Let's talk in the comments down below. Like I say, keep an eye out for a guide in the coming days about how most casual players should quote unquote prep for the final shape. So if you're interested in that, consider subscribing. Dropping a like on the video, it does help me out, so doing so would mean a lot to me. Other than that, I hope you have a terrific day, and I'll catch you in the next one. And by now, I hope you've accepted, hunters are in fact supreme.